What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. I told you guys earlier this morning that if the government or the Senate passed the government funding bill, I would provide you with a midday update. Well, that's exactly what they did, and so that's exactly what I'm doing. The Senate actually passed this bill 65 to 35, and 15 Republicans voted in favor of government funding. This means the government will be funded until December 3rd, 2021. There will be money for billions of dollars, not just money, but billions of dollars for emergency disaster relief, which is great for states like Louisiana that were obviously hit by the hurricanes and floods and fires as well. But then we're also going to see billions of dollars for Afghan refugees as well for relocation. So there's all that is in there. The good news is they are still going to work for the debt ceiling. That's something that obviously is a very, very important. It's something that has to happen. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said today the X date is October 18th. That's the date that the government's going to run out of money. So we're 18 days away. Things are hopefully going to pick up after the government's funded, after the vote on the $1.2 trillion bill later on today in the House of Representatives. So we'll see what happens there. However, a report came out today from the Washington Post and from Politico that Senator Joe Manchin has been asking since July. Since July, he has been requesting that the $3.5 trillion bill gets pretty much whittled down to $1.5 trillion. Just to give you an idea, $1.5 trillion covers very little of the Democrats' plan. Covers very little. The child tax credit payments take up a big portion of $1.5 trillion. And that is according to reports today. That's one of the reasons why many Democrats are pushing against the child tax credit payments and possibly going from 4 years down to just 2, because it will cut that in half. Others say that if we go from 4 years to just 1 more year of the child tax credit payments, and then if the Democrats win, that remain in control of the House and the Senate after the next midterm election, which is next year, then they could go back and try to go for an additional 4 years or 3 years, or they can make it a permanent tax fixture. So that's a lot of what we're hearing now. However, here's the crazy thing, and I want to bring this up because people are thinking, this stuff cannot be happening. Why does this stuff keep happening? You can't even make this stuff up. You couldn't even make a movie about this. That's how ridiculous some of the stuff that's going on is. But here's something I want to explain, okay? And again, you're going to think this is crazy, but this is actually happening. Back on January 19th, 2020, what we heard was Senator Joe Manchin, or actually 2021, excuse me, Senator Joe Manchin, he supported a $4 trillion infrastructure bill, up to $4 trillion. Now he's pushing for 1.5, okay? But this was back on January 19th, 2021. This was right after President Biden was inaugurated. That's what he supported. There's multiple articles out right now. They're actually recirculating them saying, well, you supported this then. What has changed? Well, according to Joe Manchin, the economy's changed. Businesses have changed. COVID, we have it under control, right? No, we don't, right? But this is what we heard back on January 19th. Well, on July 13th, reports are indicating that Schumers, Sanders, and Warner, they announced that the $3.5 trillion framework, okay, that was on July 13th. Before that, I think President Biden, he actually put his framework out there. However, according to reports now, Joe Manchin privately told Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer that he wants just a $1.5 trillion infrastructure bill. And anything over that, he would not guarantee he votes for it or supports it. Well, on August 11th, I'm just going to break down this timeline. You can see all this if you go to Jeff Stein. If you go to his Twitter, you go to stuff on Washington Post, you'll see all this stuff. See this exact breakdown. But on August 11th, the Senate, with progressives, they passed a $1 trillion bipartisan bill. On August 13th, the Senate passes the $1.5 trillion budget resolution, which then it had to be worked out so that they could really get that done, because obviously the House had to pass it as well. That was the issue, and that's where moderates were like, you know what, we don't want to do that. That's when Senator Joe Manchin was talking with Josh Gottheimer and other moderates in the House of Representatives, telling them exactly what to do, how to hold this up, because he didn't want to see a $3.5 trillion budget reconciliation bill pass. Well, today on September 30th, we are now seeing that Joe Manchin's request, what his guidelines, his framework, this is now being revealed by Politico for $1.5 trillion. Just give you an idea. And again, you can go to Jeff Stein on Twitter and you can see all this. Okay, I'm not gonna read the entire thing, but it's an agreement to start budget resolution. And this was dated for July 28, 2021. And it says on the very top line, $1.5 trillion. Okay, just to give you an idea. The offset conditions. This is what's going to pay for this. The big thing is any revenue exceeding $1.5 trillion shall be used for deficit reduction. Okay, so he was not expecting anything over $1.5 trillion in spending, but anything over $1.5 trillion in additional revenue can go to bringing down the deficit. But he's talking about the corporate tax rate of 25%, corporate domestic minimum tax of 15%, raise the top rate on ordinary income 39.6%, raise capital gains tax 28% all in, and carried interest, tax gap, rebate rule, and dynamic growth. At the very bottom, okay, right above Joe Manchin and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer's signature, it says, Senator Manchin does not guarantee that he will vote for the final reconciliation legislation if it exceeds the conditions outlined in this agreement. Okay. That is crazy that we are just now seeing this on September 30th when this was signed on July 28, 2021. But the crazy thing about all this stuff, okay, is that right now, progressives are saying, well, you keep throwing out these numbers, you keep throwing out these different ideas. Last minute, you're not giving us an idea of where you stand. But that's coming from progressives, and President Biden, he is still trying to figure out, okay, well, what's your top line number? Where do you stand? How much do you support? What do you support? But yet we have it. We have the exact thing right here that Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer signed. This is what, I'm serious, this is what we cannot make up. How does the Senate Majority Leader have this? He's had it since July 28th. He knows this. He signed it. And now, 2 months later? A little bit over 2 months later, now we're starting to see that, oh, the Senate Majority Leader has been holding on to this. Joe Manchin knew this was there, which I actually credit Joe Manchin for not coming out and be like, hey, look, this is what we had. We have this signed, okay? And now you're coming out and telling me, I'm not sticking up to, my end of the bargain. This was our deal. So I actually applaud Joe Manchin for that. He's not throwing his leader under the bus, but at the same time, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is kind of screwing with the American people. He's not giving even President Biden the answers that he needs. And so right now, it's crazy. But the good news is, at least today, the government has so far averted a government shutdown. But that is if the House of Representatives passes this bill, which they're going to pass, or they're going to vote on it today. They're also going to vote on the $1.2 trillion bill today. Out of those two bills, one of those bills will pass. That's at least according to experts. The one bill will be the government funding bill. It will not be the bill to pass the $1.2 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill. That's at least according to experts. So what I can tell you right now, things are crazy. Things are probably going to get a little bit worse before they get completely better. But at least we are moving forward. We're moving in some direction. When we stand still, the problem with lawmakers is when they stand still, a lot of them are accepting the fact that we're just standing still, nothing's getting worse, nothing's getting better, we're okay. When in reality, the American people are still suffering. So if we're not passing bills, we're not getting anything done, we are suffering. We are hurting and things are getting worse. So at least we are moving in a direction when we will have answers as to what's going to pass later on today. But I promise you, I'll be back on later on today to explain what is going on. Hopefully the bills pass before then. If not, tomorrow morning, I'll provide an update on everything that's passed, what that means moving forward, and everything in between. So just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll probably be back on here later on today, so make sure you stick around for that. Make sure you hit that like button. It really does help out the channel. Also, consider subscribing so I can keep you up to date on everything that's going on, and I'll see you guys on the next one.